Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dual Screens Gamescast. This is episode 14. I am one of your hosts, Stephen Fontana, and with me, as always, is Andy Asimakis. He's over there. Hi, Andy.
How's it going? Happy Sunday. Happy everything. I want to hug you, but I can't. Can't hug you.
Where are you?
So far away. Oh, did I disappear?
There you are.
Is it already?
Nope.
Is it already broken?
No, my audio cut out. My bad. How are you, buddy?
A toast to all of you. Happy Sunday.
Yes, indeed. It is Sunday.
It's delicious whiskey.
It's the Palm Day, as they say.
It's actually not my Palm Sunday. It's your Palm Sunday.
Right. Your Palm Sunday's in the winter or something.
Yes, in the summer solstice.
Yeah.
In the equinoxes. That's when I get
when the sun and the moon line up perfectly.
Right.
Anyway, I love you guys. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. If you're joining us live on twitch.tv/dual screen streams, thank you so much. If you're watching later, no problem. We still love you. If you're listening later, even better. We love you too, because your ears are so good. They're such beautiful ears. We love you so much. So much. Anyway, this is the Dual Screens Gamescast, ladies and gentlemen. This is a show where Andy and I, and sometimes the third wheel, we go over the top stories from the big three companies and we debate who had the best and worst week of all, as well as discussing video games past, present, and future. The Dual Screens Gamescast posts each and every Monday for your listening pleasure on your podcast service of choice, including Podbean, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. And of course, you can find us on youtube.com/dualscreenstv and everything we do on dualscreens.com. Please consider leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts if that's where you are consuming the show. It would help the show out tremendously. On this week's show, Sony delays everything. The Nintendo Switch supply has turned completely off, and Microsoft looks up the definition of exclusives. Oh, and IGN saves E3. But before we get into the show, let's tell you about our two other shows and other projects that we have working over at dualscreens.com. On this very same feed, we have two other podcasts. That's right. We have the Dual Screens podcast, which is our interview show with our industry guests. That's where we bring on like game devs, voice actors, all that fun stuff, and they tell us their story. Now this week, and that posts on Thursday, this week we had Michael Hammond to talk about Foregone, which is a fantastic game, and it's in early access right now on Steam, and if you're into that sort of thing, if you're into that slasher type games, like those hack and slashy platformer type games, you're gonna love it. So get all up in there. And of course, Andy Explains It All, the final episode, I swear to you, is actually going up this Friday. There's been a delay. There's been a lot of scheduling issues. It's hard for me to record some days, but either way, we're going to do it. And that's a show where Andy, our smartest idiot, explains something to me, our dumbest idiot, that I know nothing about. And it's a lot of fun. And it's a bonus special topic that I don't even know. Andy hasn't told me still. And we have some other things right here on twitch.tv/dual screen streams on Monday. In order to bring a little bit of joy and happiness to the community, we're going to be playing some games together in Monday Night Mayhem. Last week we played, we actually didn't stream it because everybody kind of jumped on late, and it was too late for me to set everything up, but because I already tore it down because I didn't think anybody was showing. But we played some Rocket League, again, went undefeated, so we are just destroying everybody in the world. And I don't know what we're gonna play tomorrow, so that's still up in the air. But if you want to join us, go to twitch.tv/dual screen streams, chat with us, and we'll tell you what game we're playing, and maybe if you have it, you could join in. Maybe we'll do like Fortnite or something. I don't know.
Can I vote for a game?
Which one?
We should do a Dead by Daylight night.
We should do a Dead by Daylight night.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
We should do it.
The other thing that we have going on, the last of our PAX East 2020 videos are on youtube.com/dualscreenstv. Andy just has to put in the descriptions and then hit publish, and we are good to go. But the last two videos are going up. That was Danger, Scavenger, and what was the other one, Andy? Damn it. I have it here. Hold on.
Oh, yes. Danger, Scavenger, and Don't Tell Me. Relic Hunters.
Yes, Relic Hunters was the other one, correct. And we were also working on some new content for you. We are going to have Dual Screens First Plays, which are the videos where I play a game for the very first time, completely blind, and you get to see my natural reaction to it. Those are going to go up every Tuesday from now on. And we're also going to be doing some video reviews and list videos, and we're currently working on a very cool list video for you. It's going to be the top 10 indie games anticipated indie games of 2020, which Andy wrote, and I am editing and performing the voiceover for. It's going to be great, and that is going up on our YouTube channel.
Andy and our good friend and Dual Screen's editor-in-chief, Thorn Stone.
That's right. Thorn, our friend, and the bane of Mr. Nuff's existence. They're like Superman and Bizarro. They're just at each other's throats.
No, I think they're more like Ralph and Alice.
No, they're more like me and Buzz.
It's more like everyone in Buzz.
Right. If you want to support us on Patreon, you can do so by going to patreon.com/NDS podcast, just like our Patreon producer, Colton the Apprentice Nestler. We cannot continue to grow without all of your support, so please, if you do still want to support us, you can go to patreon.com/NDS podcast. We also have a shirt that we are selling for COVID-19 relief. It's a charity thing through bonfire.com. If you want to buy a cool shirt, it's a shirt with a little saying, "Be excellent and stay the bleep inside." All proceeds for that, each shirt that is sold, the proceeds of it will go directly to charity. I don't really know which one, but it says that it proceeds benefit COVID-19. So I think they have multiple partners that Bonfire partners up with, because it's specifically an item that you select that is for charity. So I don't have any control over which charity, but it is specific to any COVID-19 relief. So if you want to do that, the link will be in the description of the show. And if you're watching on Twitch, it is in the chat as well. All right, so let's get into the adventures in gaming. Andy.
Hi.
What you been playing?
So I recently upgraded my PC to Windows 10 after about 10,000 years, and it unlocked just all the things in my life.
Yeah.
It's made my PC so much better. So I've been playing a lot of old PS1 games, because I figured that since my backlog is pretty good, I made a decent dent. I'm ahead of the game at this point. I can take April to relax a little bit. I guess we'll assign games at some point, maybe for this month. That's the goal. Not sure what it is. But I played through Parasite Eve 4 times in a row to get to the Chrysler Building, to be super powerful for that, because it's like the extra section of the game for the true-ish ending or the altered ending. But it's a pain. Yeah, it's like 80 floors of fucking insanity. And if you get there and you're under level, you're completely effed in the yay. I did that. I played the original Silent Hill about 4 times.
Why?
To get the katana, the chainsaw, the rock drill, and the laser gun, and the UFO ending. Because I love that game. And they played Bloody Roar 2 just for like a fuck ton, because I missed that franchise so much. And part 2 is like the best out of all of them. So it was strictly a retro week for me. I went all PS1 the last week. I played some of Doom, just to get a few things I missed. I have Resident Evil 3, didn't start it quite yet, and I played more of State of Decay 2, but primarily it was all PS1 the last week. And what about you?
Okay, well, I guess I'll start with the most recent one. So I'm still on Animal Crossing. I'm having a lot of fun with that. I just got my item shop now, so like they have like the official Nooks Cranny store up and running. It's great. Doing a really good job. I have my island nice and organized. I have villagers waiting to move in. I just got to get them their bits and pieces. What else? I didn't really play a lot of Apex this week. Honestly, I've been doing a lot of editing. A lot of messing around with the old Adobe
Music
Premiere.
to my ears.
Yeah, not doing well on the whole backlog thing. But
I give you a pass. You're doing actual work.
Bloodstained. I went back into Bloodstained, Andy.
Oh, very nice.
All I did was level up, because I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. I don't remember where I was. I know that I need the power where you can go in tighter spaces, or the one that you bounce off of the metal stuff.
Right.
But I don't know where to get it.
It's from a boss fight.
Sure, but I don't know where the boss is.
That's all I'll tell you.
I don't know where the boss is, but I'm thinking like I gotta beat something in the backlog before Final Fantasy VII because I know that's gonna be a long one. So
let's get through one more.
oh, I beat. Well, I guess we'll talk about it in the retro game club, but the backlog accountability rather. But I did beat Dragon Ball Z finally.
Hey, good for you.
Yeah, that it was 46 hours. 46 hours, and I swear to you, it's like they didn't know what to do between the sagas. They call them intermissions. So like each saga is named after the villain that this is attacking. So there's the Raditz saga, or the Saiyan saga is what they call it. It's Raditz, Vegeta, and Nappa. Then there's the Frieza saga. Then there's the Android saga, then the Cell saga, and then the Boo saga. Like those are the main sagas. So between each saga, a lot of people die, a lot of shit happens, but you like essentially just get to run around and do whatever you want. So you could like level up, you could do training stuff, but all of the side missions are like, hey, find me 5 of these and 6 of these, and you're just like, why am I doing this? And then
It's just the worst kind of side quests.
Yeah, and it's like it's the main mission too. So like in the intermission, in order to get to the next saga, you have to do all these bullshit tasks. And it's like it's just so poorly thought out. And the sagas themselves are fun to play, but like everything in between them was just fluff. It was essentially, I would say, close to 8 hours of fluff. Like 2 hours between each saga was just fluff.
Can you say the word saga just one more time?
Saga. Saga. Mr. Enough says he downloaded the entirety of Dragon Ball Z to watch for the first time. So good.
I think I spent less time playing Parasite Even Silent Hill 20 times than you spent playing Dragon Ball Z.
And the thing is, like, the game is fun. Like reliving those moments that I loved so much was fun. So like that part was fun, but all of the bullshit in between, I didn't do.
Like the anime, there's always filler. There's always fluff.
Andy, I didn't do about, I want to say 3 to 4 systems that they have built in the game. I just didn't even bother with it, and it didn't matter because I still beat the game. I didn't do, you could build like cars and robots. I never did one bit of research for that. There's a training room that you can upgrade to get like better stats out of training in. Didn't upgrade it once, aside from the amount that they made you in the main story. I never chose my party or powered them up or anything. I just kept beelining the main story. What else? And I didn't upgrade fully all their skill trees. I just did what I needed to do to get through the game, and it still took 47 hours. I'm thinking this is an 80-hour game if I tried to do everything in it.
I'm trying to find the connection between building cars and robots.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Well, at least you got it. It's off your plate now. And
yeah.
Where are you with this? Are you $0 now? Do you still owe somebody in the kitty?
No, because I didn't beat any extra games. Like I think that it's like, well, that's not true. Last week I mentioned I did Fight and Rage. What else? Let me look at my Switch. But I also did. Hold on. Demon Pit I played, but I didn't really do much. You can't really beat that game. I guess you can, but I didn't really try.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, man. I've been sitting at the computer editing a lot.
You did good.
But
You've done good. That'll do, pig. That'll do.
That'll do. But it'll be fine. We'll be fine. There's no minute of Apex with Steve because I really actually, you know what? There is, because there's news.
Oh fuck.
There's no stories of me playing, but the minute of Apex with Steve starts now. Ladies and gentlemen, Duos is back and it's permanent. So now Mikey Kirsch and I can play just the two of us all the time.
Just the two of us.
If there's no third, we don't have to go with a rando. Starting on the 7th, it is going to be back for good. There is also a Bloodhound event that is happening right now, which is pretty cool. Well, not right now, but again, that starts in a couple of days. So when that does roll out, I'll have more information on that and be able to tell you a little bit more about it. But I am very excited for the duos because it just makes things easier when our third is not online. We have like a rotating third, Mike and I. So It's either it's Porky or it's Andrew. It all depends, or it's Tides, who's the 13-year-old in Florida that we play with. Yeah, and maybe Missed Enough will return if he could get away from Call of Duty.
I would choose your phrasing differently on that sentence.
And that's going to do it for the Apex minute with Apex Steve minute.
Sure. Yeah.
Andy, hit us up with the indie news update.
For a second, I thought that was the April Fool's joke, but I'm so glad that it wasn't.
Ooh.
Our great friends, Cellar Door Games, have announced a sequel to Rogue Legacy called, you guessed it, Rogue Legacy 2.
Wow, what a concept.
As per their press release on Steam and other places, Rogue Legacy is back, but now it's got a 2 in front of it. And that's all you need to know about the sequel.
All you need. I never played Rogue Legacy, but a lot of people were really happy about this.
Great game. So looking at the screenshots here, look, they've dropped the whole sprite aesthetic for more of a hand-drawn kind of a look, like more of a cartoonish art, which looks amazing. And I want to do a little shameless plug to episode 72,
ladies and gentlemen,
of the Nintendo Dual Screens with Teddy Lee of Cellar Door Games, who, when we got off the line with him, he mentioned some other game he was working on, and he asked us for titles of said game. You recall that?
Yes.
Not this game. Not the same game, obviously.
No.
So I guess that was ditched or shelved, and they just went full on Rogue Legacy 2. That's it. That's the indie game news of the week.
All right. So before we get into the Dual Screens report, which of course is where we go over the big 3 companies and a wild card, and we decide who had the best week and worst week, we're going to tell you what didn't make the cut. And Andy, why don't you take this first story?
So this is a bit of Sony news with regards to the FF7 remake release. Square gave us a lot of word diarrhea on Twitter the other day, but the bulk of it comes down to shipping the game and concerns regarding COVID-19 around the world. So to boil this down to a simple sentence from their Twitter, our highest priority is that all is that all of you, including those who live in countries facing the biggest disruption, can play the game at launch, which is fine. Sounds great. So we made the decision to ship the game far earlier than usual to Europe. Makes sense. Italy, Spain are getting hit really hard over the virus. And Australia, which I don't quite get why they chose Australia to include in this up shipping date. I checked the global stats of COVID-19 cases. Now, again, not to diminish anyone's loss or struggles, but they're pretty low on the list of active cases and deaths.
That might just be time. That might just be that it's harder to get stuff there.
Right. So I understand the decision. I just wish it was sort of applied to on a more global scale. Like just say, hey, we're shipping out everything. If you get it, sell it. And if you bought it digitally, you can download it 3 days earlier. Just to have some middle ground there.
Right.
But it's how it is. But you can have the game on preload. You can download it right now for PS4 in the States and elsewhere and just have it sit there, all whopping 100 gigs of it on your hard drive until it's ready to go in 5 days. So that's that. That's the bit of Sony news in the that did not make the cut. And this next story.
Yes.
Take it, Steve.
Yes, this is going in the camp of Xbox. This is coming from Screen Rant. Scalebound revival rumors shot down by Xbox's Phil Spencer. That's right. Phil Spencer shut down the rumors of any possible revival of the canceled Platinum Games action RPG Scalebound in a recent interview. Let me find the quote. Yada, 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 yada. Oh, there is no quote. It's a great article. Good job. Good job, Screen Rant. Can't even give us an actual quote for this? What the hell, dude? Whatever.
Well,
anyway,
I'm not sure why these persist. These rumors, like it's a dead game. Let it be.
I think it's because
die.
I think it's because it was exciting that it was going to come.
Was it though? Was it
yeah,
really?
People were. Listen, over in Microsoft land, they don't have a lot to look forward to.
Right, but of all the Platinum games, this looked the least dynamic of all of them.
Platinum games.
All right, this next story.
Yes, hit me up.
Is in the Nintendo file.
Oh.
Fatal Frame's return is up to Nintendo, says series producer Keisuke Kikuchi.
Huh.
And this comes from Nintendo Life.
Mhm.
So, the producer of the Fatal Frame series was asked about revisiting this classic, horrifying IP. And he was like, I could do that, but it's on Nintendo. So,
Mhm.
as he says, even though I have these hopes, this is a series that Nintendo published for us, and I only handle the development.
Mm.
So even if I were to say I want to make another game, that doesn't necessarily mean that's what's going to happen. This includes future new installments and remasters. So I find it odd that it's solely on Nintendo. They can find a different publisher to undertake
Yeah,
this.
unless
They don't
part of the
own
pub.
the publishing rights, I don't imagine. I mean, it is in Smash Brothers in some extent.
Yeah, but Nintendo could, as part of their publishing deal, also own the IP.
Right.
So maybe that's what it is.
Okay.
Cooking Mama
right.
vanishes, Andy.
It does. It did. Where'd it go?
Nobody knows.
This is weird. This is a weird one. This is really weird.
Cooking Mama Cookstar pulled from the Switch eShop amid accusations of mining cryptocurrency. That's right. Do you remember this story? Do you remember this? This was a hype zone, I believe.
Escándalo.
This was hype. This was a hype zone.
It was hype.
It was. It was a hype zone back in.
Yeah, it was.
I want to say December or November. The
come
developers
back
have now responded to the claims, thanks to Nintendo Everything. So Nintendo Life is reporting something in Nintendo Everything reported on, and stressed that the claims regarding the blockchain tech being used in the games were hypothetical. As the developers, we can say with certainty that there is no cryptocurrency or data collection or blockchain or anything else shady in the code. The Nintendo Switch is a very safe platform with none of the data and privacy issues associated with some mobile and PC games. This is a release from February 2019, and we presume hypothetical, like most releases about blockchain are. Blockchain was never brought up to us developers, and we were entertained to hear about it in late 2019. Not happening anytime soon. That sentence is weird. That whole quote is weird.
I just don't understand how this game was on the eShop, then it went away, and now even physical copies are also vanishing. Like you can't find it anywhere.
It's even better than Mama.
It's very misterioso. All right, this next story.
Who the hell just called me at 9:30? Weird. Okay, continue.
Was it Cooking Mama that called you?
No.
Saying, help.
Scary number. I don't know it.
Help me, please. This is wild card, but it kind of dips into the Nintendo realm.
Okay.
So Virtuous, the guys that brought us the ports of FF12 Zodiac Age, Dark Souls Remastered, Starlink, and The Outer Worlds, intend to port PS5 and Xbox Series X games to the Switch.
Good luck.
So this sounds great. The exact quote here says, with the launch of the new Xbox Series X and PS5 this year, developers need to strategize and plan for the game experience to be consistent across all platforms. At Virtuous, we are charged and up and full of talent that is ready to help bring these new games to the Nintendo Switch. Great. I feel this is nice for the first year and a half for Xbox Series X because it's going to be on the current hardware, so it won't be that difficult to some extent to port over. But if you're talking about, oh, you know what? No. I take it back because I can't see them porting over exclusive PS5 games to the Switch.
Right, they're not going to be able
I guess
to,
the initial multiplats will be on both current and next gen hardware. But
yeah,
for me, I'm more into this for like from the tech perspective. That's a huge team they got. It's like almost 2,000 employees on that Virtuous team. So they're stacked with people to bring things over. But I want to see what things will look like because we're going into now like Cyberpunk. Could you imagine that on the Switch? What it will look like for a minute, if at all possible? I mean, The Witcher was amazing.
You have to take the slider and just
the slider button, the little thing.
Sliders, shaders, shadows.
It's a great commitment from Virtuous, but we'll see how that pans out for them.
Yeah.
Well, and finally,
yeah,
in this didn't make the cut segment,
Gaben, also known as Gabe Newell.
Good old Gaben.
He sees that single player games are making a comeback against multiplayer thanks to AI. Okay, whatever. All right, I'm just gonna read his little quote here. This comes from what? WCCFtech.com.
From a bunch of continents.com.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Imagine trying to tell you. Okay, whatever. If you think of lots and lots of people on the internet as a way of generating entertainment experiences, there was a point in time where it became easier to connect meat than it was artificial intelligence. Okay.
It's not creepy at all.
Yeah, we're starting to head towards a period where that's going to reverse again, driven by what's happening with AI. Right now, the open AI bots are better than 99 point some percent of all the Dota players in the world. That's actually a surprisingly narrow challenge for an artificial intelligence. Beating humans is easier than entertaining humans. But over the next several years, and if you ask me, my little spreadsheet calculation is it's about 9 years, we'll have artificial general intelligence that could do anything a smart person can do. It'll probably initially take some time, like something like $1 billion, not time, something like $1 billion to build one of these silicon humans. But then they'll just keep getting cheaper, and it'll get cheaper really quickly, and eventually reach the point where you have 10 or 100 people living in your computer all the time. Weird. And harnessing that will mean single player games get a lot more interesting. So I think he's talking about essentially playing where AI behaves a lot more like humans do.
Right. Mm-hmm. Which is super creepy.
So
when you think about it.
I mean, the strive was always to make them act more human, but bear with me here. I think what he's talking about is not like in a first-person shooter, the enemies being smarter and harder to kill. I think what he's talking about is storytelling. I think what he's talking about is
yeah,
in a like Detroit Become Human sense, where the game is creating the story on the fly and acting human-like. Like the characters aren't responding to a script and instead responding in real time what you're doing.
Or go back to the original Half-Life, how when you're walking through Black Mesa for the first time, it feels like a lived-in actual underground lab. Folks are having conversations on the side about their days and just random like one-liners that they say at you. Let's see, hey Gordon, as you walk by. Imagine that, but with actual real AI pushing it.
Yeah, and not
It'll
scripted.
feel like
it's just
an actual real world. Like people will react to your actions to some extent.
Like a GTA in that would be unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
Like all these NPCs, you just give them like stats of like who they are, and you just they have the English language. You just import the English language or whatever.
Build the brain for each individual.
You know what would be really interesting is using AI to do auto translations in games. Like if you just input, because if it's not scripted dialogue and it's just them coming up with the sentences and reactions in real time, you could do that in any language.
You would think you'd apply some sort of machine learning to some extent for localization, because I know there's dialects and language nuances to consider when you do that kind of stuff, but I think you can get past that language barrier.
Yeah,
now,
for sure.
The modern tech. But yeah, that sounds nuts. If that's like a true next gen thing, I'd fucking bring it on.
Yeah,
bring on fucking smart AI. I love it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right.
Alrighty.
Now it's time. It's time to get into it. It's the actual Nintendo news report. I said it again. The dual screen report.
Yes. Just try once not to do it.
I think it's on purpose now, subconsciously.
Right.
This isn't the. Right. Hold on a second. I want to find the actual. Yo.
You ready? Shall I go? Shall I?
It has my name next to it.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Oh. I wanted to say this one. That should be your name. That should be my name.
All right, but I want to read the actual Naughty Dog tweet. So.
Oh yes, because there's 2 tweets in this. So
do you have it in the doc?
That? I don't. I have Sony's statement on this.
All right, so I'm gonna paste it in the doc, so you can continue. Go ahead. Go do your thing.
So it seems like we can't avoid this topic. We can't run away from the, as our president says, the COVID-19. You know what I'm talking about? It's an exact quote. PlayStation has delayed indefinitely the release of Last of Us 2 and Iron Man VR. As per Twitter, they say SIE has made a difficult decision to delay the launch of Last of Us Part 2 and Marvel's Iron Man VR until further notice. Logistically, the global crisis is preventing us from providing the launch experience our players deserve. Now, to follow up on this, they also say, currently, There are no other delays to report, but we'll keep you updated. Now, before you get into Naughty Dog's tweet about this whole situation, I really wonder what's going to happen a month from Last of Us 2's initial release date that's not going to affect the release of Ghost of Tsushima, which is late June.
Mm-hmm. I have
Just
thoughts.
delay everything. Now, before you go into Naughty Dog's thing, I want to say one more thing is that Jason Schreier got in the mix of this conversation. He said they expect everything to get delays. All of it is getting delayed.
So
at some point or another.
So I'll get into Naughty Dog's actual quote or their tweet, but you pretty much already covered it. Here's the thing. There are people thinking that this might have been because of maybe it's not exactly a sensitive, smart PR thing to put a game about, a virus or whatever, fungus that takes over the world, yada, yada. But I don't think that's what it was. Now, what I think it is I believe that PS5 is getting delayed. And I think they need something now for November.
That safety cushion?
No, I think they need something for November. They need a game for the holiday. They had PS5 coming for holiday. I don't think they're going to be able to make enough of them to have a good launch. And I think I think Ghost of Tsushima is going to be fine because now I think you'll still have Avengers, you'll still have Ghost of Tsushima, but they need now a tentpole game that was being built on PS4 because the PS5 launch games are now not going to be there. The PS5 is now not going to be there. This is my opinion. This is what makes sense in my head is that they are preparing for it to kick the PS5 can down the road because they can't make enough of them.
Right. And before you get on to Naughty Dog's tweet, I want to say that you'll be right if we get Ghost of Tsushima in June as scheduled, and there's no release date for Last of Us. Because if the game was set to be released in May and it's done at that point, why not give a date? And why not delay the only other game that you're planning to release, your last major first party exclusive game also? Why not just do all the same shot?
And again, I think that's just because they still need a summer game. We don't know. They still need a summer game, and I don't think they know when they're going to be able to have production up and running to satiate the launch of a console. I just don't think they're going to be able to do it. Like people, the other thing you have to understand is like this is going to be a very, very, it's going to have a ripple effect that people aren't going to want to go Black Friday shopping. They're not going to want to be in malls. They're not going to be, they're not going to want to be in those situations lining up outside. Like they're not going to want to do that because of what we're going through right now. And the fall is where this thing starts, specifically November. So we're going to get into a whole other season of this thing in November because they're probably not going to have a inoculation yet. So I think they're looking at that and they're saying, well, do we want to launch this console where people can't actually go out and physically buy it because we're going to be in the middle of another uptick in COVID-19 stuff?
Right. Do we want to encourage crowds when we're in the midst of yet another
Do we have the infrastructure where we could do online only orders? No. Fuck no. We know they can't because every time they put these things up for pre-order, the thing crashes.
Right.
And people hoard them and they buy like 50 at a time and stuff. Like there's no way they can guarantee that.
And they price gouge,
So what I think...
No, it's a really solid theory. I'll give you that.
Sure. And I honestly, I think that's what this is all about. And I think that The Last of Us is a perfect game to have in the holiday for PS4. And you could always re-release it or whatever, up-res it, whatever the hell, however they're going to handle PS4 to PS5 titles when PS5 does come out, say in April next year. April or May. I think May. I think May is a good month for it to come out. But
it's going to be very telling once June rolls around, and if we've heard nothing about delaying Ghost yet, it's going to be like highly indicative of what their actual game plan
Right.
here was.
Right.
Plus, if June rolls around and we have, these little would-be E3 live streams going on, and we have no price and no release date or no reveal, then the writing's on the wall that, this is not coming to us until next year, more than likely.
Right. All right, Andy, I guess I will take
Yes, you will.
this next story. We don't have to read Naughty Dog's tweet. We pretty much covered it.
Right. Totally fine.
Let me close these other tabs. Now I have like 3 articles open, so hold on. All right.
Tabs.
So this is excuse me. So this is a Xbox story. I believe. Hold on. Let me just double check because it has both of them. Yeah, Microsoft story. So Xbox, this is coming from Nintendo Life, a Nintendo website giving us our Microsoft news.
Well, it kind of leans into Nintendo.
Yes.
The best buddies of the gaming industry that you know.
Xbox's Phil Spencer has, quote, a ton of respect for Nintendo, but is over rumors about select titles coming to Switch. That's right. He's done. He's done with it. Here's the quote. The relationship with Nintendo is great. Doug Bowser and I, we talk often. Furukawa-san, the CEO of Nintendo, and I know each other well, and we have conversations.
That's a really weird statement. Yeah. And we have conversations.
Yes. I will say that I think that the individual IP by IP to different platforms, I can see can kind of get confusing to customers over time. We've been learning. Some of our development partners have really wanted to go do this, and we want to support the desires of our creative talent. Some of this has been partner lead. I don't understand anything that he just said in that.
That's like a word salad.
I don't know what the fuck he said there.
Can you break it down in English, please?
I will say that I think the individual IP to IP to different platforms, I could see it kind of get confusing. Whatever. Okay. Yeah, it certainly does get confusing. I think more and more about what does a full Xbox experience mean on different platforms. Right now, it seems like when any games come out, there's that, is this going here? Is this going there? I'd rather be able to set more of an Xbox level expectation for our fans on where things are going to go. I thought we did that with our first party when we talked about games shipping on Xbox and PC, and I got some blowback from certain people in certain groups that groups on that, but at least we set an expectation on that. I'd rather see us get to that point on a different on the different pieces of hardware we're on. So I guess I'll kind of leave it there. I definitely have a ton of respect for the role that Nintendo plays, and I love having great games on their platform. I don't really love this idea that for every one of our games, there becomes a little rumor on it. Is it going to end up on the Switch or not? I feel like we should set a better expectation with our fans than that. So essentially, I think this is less about what the fans' expectations are, and it's more about how Microsoft's messaging has been regarding their IP being on other platforms, because they did kind of muddy the waters when they did Ori. Was it? Yeah, it was Ori, right?
Ori and Cuphead.
Right, Ori and Cuphead. Like, that kind of muddied the waters because they treat them like their first party or whatever, like for Xbox. It's an Xbox thing. But here they are on Switch, and it's like, well, then it's not really an Xbox thing. So you're going to try and do this for other stuff?
And they're also on Steam at that matter as well.
So I think, for Phil, I think the frustration isn't really with the fans or whatever. I think it's with their messaging, and they have to be a little bit more careful on. They could have just said, "Hey, we think Cuphead fits on Switch. We think it's a really cool Switch thing." We think more people will play it there than they will on Xbox. So we're partnering with Nintendo. And they say, well, why? You don't think Xbox people like Cuphead? And they could simply say, well, the same indie games that go up on Xbox that go up on Switch are selling 10 times as much on Switch. So we're not stupid. We know where the audience is for these types of games. And just leave it there. Like, no, you're not getting fucking Halo. Like,
well, that was what the expectation was from people. They thought like, well, see, here's the thing. What happens when you present to the world that you and Nintendo are sort of this dynamic duo in gaming, that you've forged a great partnership, and we're going to put our games on their platform. We have Xbox Live at some point come in the Switch. There was a whole big thing about that at one point. And when you see Switch surpass Xbox One in sales, dramatically increasing by the day, I think what's going on is they're realizing, oh shit, what if our fans are saying, well, I could buy this game on Xbox or PC, but if it's going to come to Switch, I might as well wait for the Switch. And you have players who think, well, I could buy an Xbox One, but if the game I want is going to be on the Switch at some point, I could wait for that, can I? So I think it's a little bit of a backpedal. Like, wait, that was a one-time or two-time thing. It was great for that moment, but we still want games in our system. But it's a shocker that it took them this long to figure that out. Like, when you have exclusive title, it's going to push
Andy,
your heart. It's going to incentivize the consumer to buy your
but
product.
You can't blame them for not seeing this because they haven't announced any first-party titles in a long time.
Right.
They don't
of note.
Right. They haven't had like things to really talk about. Like now they start they have studios and they have games that are going to be coming out soon in in the next year or so. So now there's more of those like, okay, well, this game looks like it could run on Switch. Will it? Especially now that we're talking about fucking next gen game or games coming. Yeah, PS next gen games coming over to Switch. Like, okay, what's possible and what's not possible?
We'll have Virtuous port over Halo Infinite. It's totally fine.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal.
And I think it's a smart move because I think Microsoft, when they were kind of like meandering in second place for a bit, and they fell like to the third in sales, and they thought we can utilize Nintendo to some extent to get our games out there. But now it's like we have all these new studios. We should squash the idea that these games might come to Switch at some point.
Right.
Let's kill it dead now, and say, hey guys, these are our games. You want to play them? Invest in a decent PC or Series X,
or just get an Xbox One.
Yeah, or be an Xbox One.
Get an Xbox One S fucking all digital edition and call it a Switch. Right. The
Xbox Switch.
Right. All right, Andy, you're up on the next story here.
Oof. Again, this thing just never goes away. So Nintendo was getting hit pretty hard in the Switch stock department with regards to with COVID, and there's just delays, and it seems like people thought if I'm going to be home for a while, I might as well buy a Switch and Animal Crossing at that point.
Right.
I think it's a really smart investment in the current climate, but the stock can't meet the demand at this point. Here's the quote from NintendoLife.com. We didn't mention the Switch Lite because there was still enough stock in the market at the time of publication in February. But the point that many of the parts are made in China is the same. We are doing various efforts inside the company. Although shipments haven't stagnated, they're getting delayed. So it seems with all that's going on in the world right now, production of Switch hardware is a challenge for Nintendo.
Right.
And they're really starting to face the effects of it now.
It seems
and this goes back to the next gen point you're making earlier.
Right, exactly. It seems like they from this last thing, although shipments haven't stagnated, they are getting delayed. I think what they're trying to say with that is that the orders for them are still coming in. There's still a demand for it. And they're still going to be fulfilled, but they're being fulfilled at a much slower rate.
Right.
I think that's essentially what they mean there. So, and also they're going to have to figure out where they're going to send these things first, who gets precedence, which nation gets what, who has the
Australia,
who has more stricter law or like guidelines now for stuff coming in from China. Like, there's a ton of variables here. Like, if China, has to wait, or like a piece of this equipment comes from China to the States, does it have to be cleaned and inspected and
So I really think I don't want to get like at this point way too political on the podcast, but I think political. But I think what's going to happen is, if you look at who leads our country and his thoughts on China in general, but the rest of the world, I think, is going to take a really hard look at supply chain and China with regards to manufacturing of products, cheap labor, and
You know who's going to make out like a beast on this, right?
who?
India.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
India is
Like,
going to end up opening factory after factory after factory.
if you look historically where a lot of these things originate from, a lot of it comes from China. And if they can bring the world to a standstill right now, should we just get out of that entirely and rely on other countries to produce components for us?
Or, bring some of those components.
Yeah, manufacturing
stateside.
stuff back to your
Right.
own goddamn
I
country.
mean, whatever, you're going to have to pay more, but if people are willing to
Right,
do it.
right.
And it's not like it's not for a blame game situation. This is more like,
Oh no, it isn't.
if it's more
But it's
like
reality.
right. If we don't have China to make these components, if they shut down, if they have something like this happen or whatever, they essentially can cripple multiple industries. So there needs to be more of a safety net as far as that stuff.
Right. And
But
you have to also realize at the same token, who's going to trust China for anything at this point going forward? They haven't been
money
forthright with
talks.
money does talk, but it just seems to me like no one's going to want to do business to the current level or what it was before all the shit went down.
Well, New York City's certainly doing business because
because it's like, but it highlights this whole situation.
Right. They just China
now it's a desperation that now you're talking about lives and a gaming console, two different things entirely.
Right, of course. I think that the world will be a little less dependent on imports from China for sure. But you know what I'm wondering? I'm wondering if purchasing Switch consoles and all these things, are we purchasing them through China or are we purchasing it through Japan? And they are shipped from China, but they're not necessarily purchased from China. Like, I don't know how that works. That's weird.
I just think globalism has failed us. That's monumentally at this point. So I think we need to reassess all of it because it's having ripples in every industry, gaming, entertainment. Disney delayed all their movies.
I know.
You heard about this? It's
it's
we're getting Black Widow in November. It's just nuts how it's sent ripples across every medium, every industry across the globe. But there is a saving grace.
There is.
We lost E3.
We did.
Take it away, Steven.
IGN to the rescue, ladies and gentlemen. IGN announces the Summer of Gaming event in June. This is straight from IGN. IGN is proud to announce our Summer of Gaming event, a global digital event set to begin this June to bring you the latest news and impressions around upcoming games and the next generation of console hardware. IGN will be collaborating with a number of partners for the Summer of Gaming, including 2K, Square Enix, Sega, Bandai Namco, Amazon, Google Stadia, Twitter, Devolver Digital, THQ Nordic, and more. Notice Sony was not on there, and Microsoft. Expect more details in the coming weeks. The event will include live broadcasts and on-demand programming featuring IGN's editorial coverage of the work of game developers from around the world. With E3 2020 canceled, IGN has a suite of programming planned to kick off in early June. It includes publisher presentations with IGN pre- and post discussions, essentially doing what Jeff Keighley does during E3, but spread over the month. Remote developer interviews, hands-on demos, and preview impressions, gameplay, and news segments recapping the biggest announcements. IGN's global coverage spans blah, blah, blah. This is a little quote here. With the next generation of console gaming kicking off later this year and gamers eager to learn more about what games they'll be playing on the new hardware, our online event will be a key moment for publishers and developers to connect with the audience worldwide, Per Schneider said. He's the chief content and product officer at IGN. More and more people are turning towards video games for entertainment and escapism. Last week, we saw new records for traffic across all of our platforms. We're excited to bring this global digital event to our audiences and partners, as this will be an event not to be missed. That was Yael Praug.
That's a name.
Well,
that someone has.
So yeah, stay tuned. They're gonna have some stuff.
So when we talk about what killed E3. It's when you go back to the scandal, when you essentially release guests' information inadvertently.
All right.
When you look at Corona killing your event this year, this to me, if this catches fire, if this is a huge success for IGN, this will demolish E3, because if this is a success, why would you go back to the old model if this works for you in some way?
Yep.
This is a super smart move on IGN's part. Way to capitalize on a global tragedy and pandemic, because people are expecting something, and our thought was you would have a bunch of disorganized, sort of scattered live streams throughout June,
right?
Like on and around what E3 would have been in the first week or so of June. But to rally and organize it all under one event is just like genius. And this is what we've been saying about E3. It's the format is a dying format.
Right.
It hasn't evolved for a long time. And I think there's no better way to connect to your audience than here's a presentation, here's a live stream. There's no stadium, there's no, exclusive entry or, passes or denial of entry on anyone. We're all on the same playing field. You tune in, you watch it, and you get all the information when everyone else does. And you don't miss out.
E3 should just be a party when it comes back. Just be a party.
Yeah, just
have stuff for people to play and make a party out of it.
It should be like the Acer party. Just demos everywhere.
Yeah.
And free drinks and food.
Yeah.
Mixing and mingling.
Yeah.
Which again, how do you have that in the post-COVID environment?
Yes.
So, yeah, that's big. That's big. Can we announce our winners and losers for the week?
Big time losers. We got 2, 3. Everyone lost except for
4.
IGN.
I think everyone but IGN lost this week.
Yes, I agree. 3 L's. Sony,
3 L's,
Microsoft,
and 1
Nintendo.
big fat wet W.
L's.
W
L's,
for
L's,
wet W.
L's.
It's passing them L's.
Passing them out. What's with the hype zone this week, Andy? Some shit is. Some nefarious things are happening.
This is wild.
Andreas.
This is. So there was an update to FF9 on Steam that deletes the game off of your hard drive. Where's the quality control? I feel like
on Steam.
Creed is the one doing quality control for this game.
No, it's quality assurance.
Quality assurance, yeah. So evidently there was an update to on April 2nd of Final Fantasy 9 on Steam, which caused the game to delete from people's hard drives. Yeah, that's.
I'm not sure. I'm honestly I'm not sure what you would need to update on.
I don't, and there's no patch notes for this either.
2 decades old game.
Yeah, they just
Control Alt Delete. Is that what happened?
Right. Someone entered the recycle bin. That's what happened.
Right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to get into the mailbag. I love the mailbag.
Ooh, I love this part of the show.
Got a couple of questions. One of these questions is strictly, obviously, for me, but I think we will. I'll be able to get you involved because I have an idea. The first one is from Mikey Kirsch over at our Discord, which you can join by going to patreon.com/ndspodcast and supporting us for as little as $1. If you could give any game a remake or remaster, what would you pick? What would you do? And why does that game deserve it? I know we've talked about this a lot. You know my answer, and I'm going to guess your answer.
So many answers to this question.
Right.
I feel like
so. I want you to answer for me, and I'm going to answer for you.
Okay? I'm answering for you?
Yes, you answer for me. What is the game I want to be remastered?
I don't fucking know.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
It's not a fucking Dragon Ball Z game, is it?
No. Come on, Andy. Every time we have this conversation, I say this game.
Oh, I know. I am a good friend and I listen. Oh, and a side note, Mikey Kirsch in the Twitch chat. Yes, it's an awesome episode because I'm drinking. That's why it's so great.
See?
That's the secret sauce for this episode. It's fucking Dark Cloud.
That's correct. Dark Cloud. Give me a Dark Cloud remaster or remake. Upgrade that combat those and add more weapon permutations. Oh my god! And I'm gonna answer for you, Andy. Parasite Eve.
Yes. I just played it 10 times in a row this weekend. Just to go back for a quick second to Dark Cloud, could you imagine a remake for that? It would catch on even more so than Animal Crossing, I imagine. Like if you incorporate those elements, like it would be like the shit.
Yeah. I got a boner just thinking about it.
But Parasite Eve, yes.
And your second choice would be Silent Bomber.
Oh no, not second choice. There's a game that I also played this week that I would love to see a remake of, but I'll mention it in the Retro Game Club. Oh, so intriguing.
Sins, it would be Dark Cloud specifically. Yeah. Dark Chronicle, nah.
Not so much.
Not so much. Dark Cloud, man. Give me that Dark Cloud right in my all over my face, bro. Mr. Nuff has a question.
Oh,
and then we'll turn it to the chat to see if anybody else in there has a question. Book WrestleMania with only video game characters. Okay, so this is how this is going to work. They're video game fights, okay? I have one right off the bat. It is a mixed tag team match. It is between Nathan Drake tag teaming up with Lara Croft versus Master Chief and Cortana. Okay, that's a tag match. That's like one of the headlining tag matches for me. You have Sonic the Hedgehog versus Mario, obviously. Okay. What else? We got I'm gonna go with Doom Guy versus Duke Nukem.
Oh.
Yes, in a death cage match. Cage of Death match.
Gordon Freeman versus Isaac from Dead Space, and who can talk.
Yes, we could definitely do that.
He learned to talk eventually, Isaac, which I'm like.
And of course, there's going to be a battle royal to start the whole night off. That's going to have like all the indie characters like Super Meat Boy, Shovel Knight, Shantae.
Like an orgy of carnage.
Just like 30 video game characters like that. But yeah, I think the main event is probably going to be, the main event. Who would the main event be?
The main event is going to be Kratos versus Isabel.
Versus who?
Isabel from Animal Crossing.
Oh God. Oh, maybe. No, it could be. It's a fatal 4-way matchup between Joel. Kratos, Samus, and
wait, I got one.
Minecraft Steve.
It's gonna be a 3-way grudge match.
Oh, triple threat. Love it.
Yes, it's gonna be Solid Snake.
Solid Snake, yes, we need him. Yeah.
Sam Fisher.
Ooh.
And Gabriel Logan.
Interesting fight. I like it. Princess Peach versus Daisy, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah, I mean that's got to be obvious.
No, you Peach versus fucking Rabbid Peach.
No, the Rabbids have their own little dumpster fight. Like they're just fighting in the parking lot.
The Special Olympics of the.
They can't get in. They can't get in the show. They're fighting in the parking lot somewhere.
It's like bum fights.
All right, it is time to get into the Retro Game Club, Andy. Andy, what game do you want me to play? Or actually, change of pace. These are games that we want you, listeners and viewers, to play. We want you to play and you to tell us what you think about it. And we're going to give you 2 games and you can play which one you want. Either Andy's game or Steve's game. Doesn't matter. Just pick one. Andy, what is your game?
So this is another game that I played a lot of this week because it was on my PS1 kick.
Yes.
It is one of my all-time favorite games on PS1. It is a sort of a bit of a underappreciated title. It came late in the PS1's life cycle. It is Resident Evil meets Scanners.
Oh,
It is a game
spooky.
called Galarians.
Galarians. I know this game. I've heard
You
of this.
play
Never played
as
it, but I know.
a super ultra fucking anime twink boy, Brian.
Obviously.
And instead of your guns and ammo, you have psychic powers. And you can set guys on fire, throw them across the room. And one of the cool things was if you press triangle, you can scan things in the game. So there's a little, like a locker with a code. You can scan it. And it's like the code is in this area. So it's pretty cool. That'd be pretty neat for a remake. And I'm playing that a lot lately. Because you can make people's heads explode, which is amazing in that game. That's on PS1, and I want you to play it.
Okie dokie.
And what you got for me?
So I've been thinking about it. Obviously, I told you before the show that I was not prepared for this because I forgot all about it. But I think what I would like for people to play, and I'm not going too far back, but it's a game that that I have here that I want to see this franchise come back in some way. And I have not completed the third in the series. I have not started it, but I have it forever. And so I'm going to play this with you, folks. I'm going to hook up my PS3 and I'm going to play this game. I promise you. I may not beat it.
Third game in a franchise?
Third game in a franchise. It's my PS3 game.
Is it only on PS3? Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right.
Resistance 3, I have not played. I loved Resistance 1. Resistance 2, the ending sucked, but I liked the game.
It's like Halo 2.
Yeah, very similar. Yes, yes.
Ending sucked, but great game.
Yeah. So I think Resistance 3, I've heard nothing but good things about it, but I feel like a lot of people forgot about it. And I played the Resistance on was it PSP or Vita? It was Vita, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was Vita.
Yes, it was
I played that.
Vita.
It was okay. It wasn't that good. I would say it was like maybe a 5 out of 10, if that. But it kind of soured me on the franchise. So I never, like, I purchased 3, but I never played it. I purchased 3 used from GameStop for like $12. Actually, probably more than that. Let me see. I got it right here, Andy. Where is it? Oh, the sticker. Oh, no, here it is. Pre-owned. The price isn't on it, but it's there. The sticker was ripped off. And I reversed the cover. But I've always... Oh, no. Where did I take this from? Yeah, it was GameStop. Somebody stole this from a Redbox because it has that code on it. So somebody stole this from Redbox and sold it to GameStop. So there you go, GameStop.
Good job. God bless. God bless that soul.
So I want to play that game, and you know, I need a reason to play it, and I need to be not lazy. And I have like my whole setup here, so I could easily plug in the PS3 too. So that's gonna be my pick. I don't know if you've played it. I don't know if you've played 1 or 2.
I've played 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
So, but I will gladly revisit that because that's a great game, and
Okay, cool.
I kind of envy you that you're playing it for the first time.
Yeah, playing it for the first time. I'm gonna play it. I might make that a thing I do like one whole day, so just see how far I can get in it. Maybe next Saturday, I'll just sit down.
It kind of makes me upset that Spider-Man was so great for Sony that they probably have no plans for a Resistance anything other than a remaster or a remake.
They're big. Yeah, they're big.
They're a big team. They're a big team.
Yeah, but their big problem with Resistance was they focused so hard on multiplayer towards the end. Like they were trying to make the Halo killer. You didn't have to do that. Make a single player, like make a co-op game. Like the first one was cool because you could play split screen.
They should bring back Mag. Bring back Mag. That was a great game.
Their online game. That was tough though. Like Call of Duty does it so much better. You know, like they do that massive scale battle.
In this world of like Fortnite and PUBG and this whole like battle royale, that game could thrive.
Mag was before its time. Free to play game. Sure. Yeah, Mag was before its time. I had Mag. I enjoyed it, but I could not figure that shit out at all.
Make it a free to play game.
Going to the chat, Sizza says he only played the first 2 and crappy online folks soured me for 3. So he never played 3 because of the sour online.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Mikey Kerr says he's seriously digging the episode. Thank you very much.
Because I've been drinking. That's why it's so good.
Cooking Mama got kidnapped. Yeah, that's really it. All right, so why don't we just kick this to the end? That's
Yes.
right, folks. It is the end of the show.
A great show.
It was a very good show. Tight. It was a tight
yeah.
show. Very tight show this week.
Very slick show.
Yes, very slick. Let us know what you thought about this show. If you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment. But if you want to follow us, it's very easy. Very easy. Twitter and Instagram, we're at NDS Podcast. I am at Batchild27. Andy is at PantsGuy. Our Facebook group is facebook.com/group/dual-screens-podcasts. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/dualscreens.com, DOCCOM. Correction. The groups is not Dual Screens Podcasts. It's DS Podcasts. I keep making that mistake, and I have to change it. It is facebook.com/group/DS Podcasts. Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/dualscreens-TV. Our Twitch channel is twitch.tv/dualscreens-streams. Thank you very much to Zazu Pitts, Sourno Productions for our theme song. Thank you, Matt Murray, for our overlays. Thank you, Andrew Douglas, for our cartoon art. If you want to send us any sort of feedback, it's feedback@ndspodcast.com. Join our Patreon at patreon.com/ndspodcast. $1 gets you in our VIP Discord. You get to vote on a bonus topic. You get a bonus episode every month. $3, you get what do you get? Damn it, I'm blanking. $5, you get the Dual Screens podcast early. I remember that. I'm good at remembering things sometimes.
Except for that one thing you're trying to remember.
The post show. $3, you get the post show or pre-show, whatever. All sorts of fun stuff. All right, Andy. Oh, and by the way, if you want to buy anything, if you want to buy something,
their awesome charity shirt.
We have an awesome charity shirt, which I'm going to put in the chat right now. If you're here and you want to buy a charity shirt, we're going to be tweaking the design a little bit, but we can't for now. So go over there and support it. Or you could buy our regular merchandise at dualscreens.com/store. Andy, is there anything you want to tell the kids before we go?
Oh, just, be safe, stay the fuck inside, and play games in the meantime. That's all you can do at this point. Yes. That's it. That's all I want to say.
Thank you so much to our chat live on Twitch. Thank you, Sin, for joining us live. Thank you, Farmer Pete. We love you. Thank you, Mr. Nuff. Thank you, Buzz. Thank you, Kirsch. Thank you, everybody else who dropped by and didn't say a hello. We still love you. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the little bell. Get notified when we're live next. Leave a comment. And as always, please be excellent to each other.